And I'm here with Jim Huck from Industrial Flow Solutions at WEFTEC. Jim, tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
Yes, we are Industrial Flow Solutions. We are a submersible pump and wastewater pump manufacturer out of New Haven, Connecticut. We build, test, everything right in New Haven from pumps and controls. And what we have here today is our Overwatch direct inline pumping system. What we do is we eliminate the wet well. Sounds crazy, I know, but that's what we do.
What do you mean by a wet well?
So the wet well is the collection that is used in municipal and industrial commercial environments where we're going to bring sewage and use traditionally a submersible pump. And what we found is the wet well is the root cause for a lot of our common issues we have today. Odor, H2S gas because liquid going septic, wipes, fats, oils, and greases. That a wet well gives them an opportunity to separate. We create a solidification layer that causes wet well maintenance where we have to bring in vac trucks and remove those fats, oils, and greases, or you have to perform maintenance on the wet well.
So basically it just traps all the stuff that you don't want in your wastewater system.
You got it. So what we do is we eliminate the root cause.
Okay.
We lift effluent directly from the inlet. So simulate this as being your gravity inlet, and this being our suction of our pump. Because we lift effluent directly from the suction, we don't have any odor issues, right? So the effluent is contained, never becomes atmospheric, and no issues with odors or H2S gases, methane. So,
okay, so you know, at H2S, we're talking that sulfate smell, right? So
eggy smell, yep.
So okay, walk us through. You know, somebody flushes a toilet in their house, and then where does it go from there, and how does it get to here?
Yeah, so all the pipes from your house probably go to a common pipe in the street, and then it goes down, and we use gravity, right? Sewage system use gravity to flow down all the sewage pipes, and eventually you get to a low spot. Mm-hmm. And that low spot is where we use collection systems, wet wells, and you would put a pump like this in that low spot where we need to lift it up to a new level so we can get gravity flow. So maybe that's going up over a hill, maybe that's just getting some sort of elevation, so now you can use the strength of gravity to take liquid a distance.
Because people aren't always considerate enough to have their houses on top of the hill so that all their sewage goes downhill.
If everyone's house was above the wastewater treatment facility, right, and then everything could just flow down. Unfortunately, that's not the case in hilly terrain. So and
especially with everybody putting their wipes down the toilet during COVID.
Yeah, so what's great with this system with wipes issues is we don't have it, right?
Yes.
Wipes never separate or float, right? Wipes are a flotation device, right? They float and they coagulate with the fats, oils, and greases in a wet well.
So coagulate means they just clump up.
They clump up, they become hard, they become big monsters of hardened grease and wipes. Because, and I'm holding my chicken in my hand as I'm talking.
It makes a good pointer, by the way.
Wipes come through the system as they arrive. 1, 2, 3 wipes. They go into our body and instantly ejected. There is no more separation.
Okay, so you get rid of the wipes right away so it doesn't get to the plant and create massive amounts of damage that cost millions of dollars to fix.
Yeah, so we're going to send them down one at a time so the plant can manage them not as a big glob of wipes, right? Or, you know, most importantly, we protect the pumps from becoming clogged. Because those wipes, they go and coagulate, they lose buoyancy. Now you have this huge fatberg that falls down in the bottom of the wet well and gets sucked up in the pump.
So fatberg is an iceberg made of fat.
And wipes, hard material, yep. So this system, we're trying to really change the way that people look at wet wells, right?
Okay.
If they were to understand the root cause of the issue, which is the wet well, right? We can install these in lift stations all over the world and keep people safer, keep people healthier, keep odor and all the nauseating smells that a wet well is. Get rid of
all the things that give wastewater plants a bad name. Now, walk us through which side is coming from the toilet and which side, and how's it come? So it comes in here.
This simulates our gravity invert.
Okay. So that's coming from someone's house.
Yep.
And someone flushes. So you see the flush there, and it comes down here, and then it gets to the pump.
Yep. It comes down here. We're measuring with our liquid level sensor down here. We're not using floats. We measure liquid pressure above the system at all times, and we give it cues on how we want it to operate based on this liquid pressure.
Right.
So if liquid flow starts to come in at a greater rate, the pumps are just going to run faster.
Right.
If liquid flow slows down or stops, as it is now, the pumps are just going to sit here and stop and wait for another surge to come.
So we're waiting for another flush.
Liquid flows down, comes into the branch valve of the operating pump,
Right.
comes through the pump, comes out through a discharge, and then this goes just back into our tank that we're just recirculating water with.
Right. So normally that is the top part is the stuff without the wipes, without anything, so that can go straight to the wastewater treatment plant as just water without all the other stuff in
Well,
there.
this will still have the fats, oils, and greases, wipes in it. This would just be going to another lift station miles down the road, or it could be going to the wastewater treatment facility where they're going to work on cleaning the water so that we can consume it again.
All right,
later
so it's
on.
basically just making sure your pump system doesn't get clogged up on the way between the house and the treatment plant.
You got it. You got
Okay.
it. So there may be, the community that I live in, 100,000 people. We have 31 lift stations. So there's
Of which, how many of them are Yaleys that think they can flush anything down their toilet?
probably most of them.
Okay, yeah.
So this could be at all 31 of those, helping feed the water back to the 2 wastewater treatment plants.
All right, so Campus Po comes by and they say, "Oh my God, we got to get rid of our stash of marijuana or whatever," and they flush it down the toilet. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So well, fantastic. Well, so this gives us a sense of how as things flush, and and I think also, I know we talked to a lot of people in the inside the skin and plumbing of how important it is to flush things out through our pipes. Why some of the issues came up inside the building with things like Legionnaire's disease, and when things just sit, that's when diseases take place, right? When things get backed up.
Yeah, we've learned a lot through COVID on waterborne illnesses, right? COVID, the virus exists in the sewage system. That's how we were able to test the sewage and understand where, communities and neighborhoods were mostly affected. This system helps remove people from ever becoming exposed to that environment. So it's really a really good, safe, and healthy piece of equipment that we hope people will take into consideration next time they rehab a wet well.
Fantastic. Well, I really appreciate your taking the time to show me this
Absolutely.
fantastic system here, and thank you so much.